It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good morning, 20th of March 2019, and that's FOMC day today. So yeah, it should be busy. So we are gonna to go through few majors, and we are gonna to check what's going on oil. Before we start, risk warning as usual, guys. Please bear in mind trading effects on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all your initial investments. So please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Okay. So what is going on? We met twice yesterday, especially the afternoon session, with nice gains in British pound. We've been trading the short side on the pound USD. Overall, I've been quite dollar positive yesterday. There's also a few pips on the euro dollar. So yeah, that was quite a positive day yesterday, but that's the history, right? We have to look forward and we have to check the charts and try to figure it out what is going to happen today during the day. Just a reminder, we have this London preview today. We do have London preview tomorrow at 8 AM CET, and our next meeting is going to happen Tuesday 26th of March, and again we are going to start with London preview at 8 AM CET. Then we are going to have afternoon session, so we are going to cover the New York session at 2 PM CET time. Okay. What is going on the options front? Let's start with this. We are trading currently around 1350, and to the upside in between 1390 and 114 we do have almost 2 billion in expiration later today at 10 AM New York time or 3 PM CET time. So that's quite significant, and if we are talking about the euro dollar, it's worth to mention that 1370 is the monthly open, all right, and we do have some kind of the supply in between 1360-65 up towards 1370-75, and still here on euro dollar there is no change in my approach, looking for a failure at the high and trying to fade the rally to the downside. Stops below yesterday New York session low European low down towards the weekly open, and we are talking about 1320. More significant significant demand down towards 113, and my favorite is in between favorite demand in between 1275 1245, and if bears are going to manage to close below these levels, that would be something big, and that would put that make lower levels very possible down towards even 110. If we are going to close today above 1370, maybe up towards 114, that may open 1450 15, and that would be a very significant development. We'll see. I will be very careful later today during the FOMC. If you are going back and check, I would say the reaction into the 50 or even 100 latest FOMC days, you should be able to figure it out that the real move, the real one reaction, it may happen 12-24 hours after the FOMC, right? So either it's going to happen during the London session tomorrow or during the New York session tomorrow. We are going to have lower liquidity. The US guys are gonna to be visible only, so plenty of possibilities to manipulate the market. All right, and I do expect, of course it depends where we are going to be before FOMC, but I do expect some kind of the manipulation to the upside to clean some more stops, and my way of thinking is, to be honest with you, I don't expect very dovish Fed. Maybe I'm too biased, but yeah, come on. The data is not that bad, and yeah, we do know that right now Fed is data dependent, so we may have some dovishness between the lines, which might produce the spike to the upside, but overall I'm, at least for now, I'm dollar positive. Still nothing has changed since yesterday in that case, so closer towards FOMC, I'm not gonna be the front runner, right? Meaning I'm not gonna to trade because my feeling is so hawkish. I'm gonna to front run and trade right before the FOMC. No, that's not going to happen. But what I'm gonna to watch later today is the eventual reaction on the rally towards 1370.14 level, all right, and the reaction around this level. If there are gonna be quick rejection, I may join the party to the downside. But if we are gonna to go slowly to the upside, I'm going to wait for 14.50.15 by, let's say, tomorrow, and that's where I'm gonna to try to fade the rally. Would be great to close the week below 1370 from the dollar perspective. So we will see. For the European session, I'm still same strategy as yesterday, so there is no change here. So that's how it looks from euro dollar perspective, in my opinion. I'm gonna be I'm going to look to sell Rileys during the London session towards 13.7-ish, and I might be intraday buyer on a sudden move to the downside down towards 13.20 level. That's how it looks from my perspective if we are talking about the euro dollar. So as the Fed meeting is a top event today, I think it's going to be smart and clever to try to check the yields. That's what we did yesterday. All right, that's what we did yesterday. So right now, right after the euro dollar check, we are going to check US yields based on 10-year T-notes. 1 second. There you go. So as discussed yesterday, when we met during the New York session, right, we saw the rally towards, that's gonna be better visible on the smaller time frame, we saw the rally towards this strong supply around 263, 264, right? At the very beginning there was no huge reaction, but then finally into the end of the day the move to the upside been faded and we got back towards 260. So possible demand here, and looks like we were right talking about this possible demand around this level. At the same time, it was retest of this falling trend line, right? And we are bouncing from 260. So yeah, I'm curious what's going to happen at the New York Open. So meaning within the next 5 hours, 6 hours, what's going to be the reaction, what market is going to try to tell us, right? In case of the move below 260, we are going to open again 255, 250, but I would say that the more significant would be the move and daily close above 263, 264. That may open 267, 270, and that would be very, very interesting from the dollar perspective. The one thing, and the second thing that would be very, very interesting from the indices perspective, right? Especially from the tech Nasdaq, we saw huge rally last few days into the quarter end. So big window dressing over there. Okay, that's how it looks from the yields perspective. Let's switch to the dollar basket for a second, where the euro dollar is the toughest, and there you go. If you remember, we were discussing this stuff yesterday. So we hit lower low yesterday, but bulls were able to manage the close above Monday low. That's positive. That's positive. We are still sitting within this last weakness over here. We are talking about the 26th of February. So looks like we hit some stops, right? And we trying to recover. And so to the downside, 96.40, 96 as a possible demand, possible supply up towards 96.80, 97. So yeah, some kind of the range into the FOMC. Okay, let's get back to MT4. and this time we are going to discuss pound dollar. So there was a quite great trade on the short side on the cable here yesterday. I've been moving stop, I've been lowering the stop every time we hit a lower low, and we ended up, as far as I remember, with stop profit of around 50 pips. All right, and to be honest with you, I'm going to watch and will try. My approach is gonna be the same. I'm going to try to fade the rally. I'm gonna to try to sell the rallies, and usually within the Bloomberg TV you are going to hear that the guys are either selling rallies or buying the dips, but they never trying to tell us the exact levels, and I'm going to try to tell you the exact levels. But guys, again, in April we are going to have few webinars from the webinar room where I'm going to discuss in details the strategy I'm using. So for now, just use demo account or paper trading to check what we are discussing, if it works, if it's suitable for you. So anyway, yesterday, day before, we were talking about this possible supply up towards 133. We hit some stops yesterday, and on this move back below 33 level, I jumped in on the short side. So today the same. I'm looking to fade the rallies toward 32.95, 33.05 based on the lower time frame. So I would like to see some kind of the rejection, right? In case we are gonna to see the rally, I'm gonna to switch to 5 minutes or 1 minute chart, and I'm going to look for I'm going to look for some kind of the rejection, right? There's no change in view, and I'm going to target first the yesterday lows, right? That's where we found the support yesterday. So I'm going to look for, as a first target, I'm going to look for yesterday lows, and then I'm going to look for 132, 131.70. Based on this whole Brexit mess, for now, I'm not quite optimistic in regards to the British pound. We may see some kind of the volatility based on the UK CPA data later today at 10:30 CET, and don't forget, tomorrow we do have Bank of England, but again, that's what I'm gonna to repeat again. I do not expect any kind of the hawkishness. I might be totally wrong, but based on latest Carney speeches, I don't expect any kind of the hawkishness because of this Brexit mess, right? So Bank of England is not able to put in front of us to put the longer term path in terms of the monetary policy. For now, at least for now, there is no way that pound may try to catch up and trying to trade long side based on the high expectations. That's my view for now, right? So I would rather say that at some point, some kind of the disappointment, we may see some kind of the spike to the upside, but then theoretically we should see 130, right? Seasonality suggests that April might be a little bit better from the pound perspective. We'll see, right? So for today, having in mind that we do have CPI at 10:30 CET, I would like to see some kind of the pop again towards 33 and rejection. That's my plan for the pound today. Okay, then dollar yen, and here we go. Very strong move yesterday when we got back above 11:30. All right. Then we discussed that might be the possible demand, and actually it was the zone where we saw the demand. So even with the weaker stocks, right, we saw the attempt to move lower on dollar yen, but in both cases we found the support. We found the demand around 11:30, 11:25. Strong rally during the Tokyo session. We got back above the weekly open and we retest and took out the stops if we are talking about this week high. Now we have some pullback into the Tokyo close. We are a little bit lower now during this Frankfurt Open, but we are still above the half of the late New York and the Tokyo session rally, right? So we are above 50%. I would say that this time again a little bit higher possible demand up towards 11:45, 11:40, and based on what we've seen here, I'm going to look for this type of the retest. I'm going to look to go long with very tight stop, and I'm going to target 1165, 1170. So in that case we are talking about 25-30 pips. My stop, yeah, it's gonna be around 8 pip, right? So I'm going to try to buy within the 45-35 range with 8 pip stop, and I'm going to target 65-75 on this dollar yen. It's valid till New York Open, till let's say option expiration. All right, then later I'm going to take off all of my orders off the table ahead of the FOMC. As I mentioned, I don't want to be the front runner, right, in that case. So that's how I see the things here. Okay, we had sudden drop in Aussie during the Tokyo session during the first 2 hours. It was most probably iron ore drop related, because we've seen 4% drop in iron ores futures. So we went below possible demand around 70.65, 70.60. We hit levels closer to 50. So in that case this mid megaphone line didn't work out properly this time. All right, and because of this move to the downside, I do expect retest of this weekly open, so a few pips higher, and I do expect some supply around this level, right? So I do expect retest of today's low. In that case, I do expect retest of 70.60, 70.50, or even a little bit lower, trying to hit some stops below today's low. And I do expect that we may see this over under down towards 70.45, 70.40 level. So yeah, I'm going to watch I'm going to watch a London session, and I'm going to watch the price action around the weekly open. If I'm gonna to see some kind of the rejection on a smaller time frame, I may try to join this party. On the other hand, if we are gonna to close on the hourly chart above this supply, if we are going to close above this weekly open and above this 70.90, especially if that's going to happen twice in a row. That might produce the rally. We may then try to read this move to the downside as a false break, all right, and we should see significant move to the upside towards 71.25, 71.30. So we are talking about this Monday high and stops above. So that could be the case. So overall, with this Australian dollar, it's all about the level related to the weekly open. All right. So I'm going to watch very carefully right at this London Open. All right. Crude, as expected, even deeper than I thought, move to the downside based on the megaphone formation. All right, that's what we discussed yesterday. And by the way, there is yesterday private API data here. 1 second, and just a reminder, we do have official EEA data later today. What I would like to see, pop retest higher levels, 59.25, 59.45. All right, where I'm going to look to fade, or in other words, sell rallies. We cannot rule it out here on this 15-minute chart creation of the big head and shoulders. So I'm gonna be ready in case I'm going to be stop out. I'm gonna be ready to fade the move towards 60 as well, right? I'm negative in case of the crude. I'm negative around these levels. I would expect move back towards 57 and lower, right? Again, I might be totally wrong, but that's how I see the things, at least for now. And from the FOMC perspective, I'm very excited, and I'm waiting for the price action, to see the price action on a gold around the FOMC, right? Again, 13.25 as a significant supply zone, and we saw the rejection last week, we saw the rejection yesterday. There are some front runners. We saw the supply started around 13.10, right? Based on current price action, intraday's price action, right? I would like to see, based on this, again, green represents daily chart, right? So that's the previous demand, now should work as a supply, the green color. Within this daily supply, we have intraday significant zone around 13.15, 13.18, all right? So what I would like to see, taking into the consideration last two swings to the upside, all right, there is some trend line. So what I would like to see, some kind of the consolidation ahead of the FOMC. Then later during the day, closer to the end of the pit session, I would like to see rally towards 13.15, retest. 1 second. Retest of this trend line, right? And rejection to the downside. That's for, at least for now, that's my trading plan for gold. Okay. All right, so that's how I see the things ahead of the London Open. So again, I'm overall still dollar positive. I can't see other than debt reason to sell the dollar, but we are not yet trying to play this debt action. So in that case we are trading for now the yields differences, and here I'm quite positive. So I do expect stronger dollar. So I'm trying to, what I'm gonna to do, I'm gonna to try the trading plan for the London, trying to fade the rallies on euro dollar and pound USD, trying to buy the deep dollar yen, and then depends on the price action closer to the FOMC. Again, I'm not gonna be the front runner. I'm going to watch the price action and the real reaction into the FOMC. We may see 12-24 hours after the FOMC, so be careful out there. Be careful, there is a plenty of possibilities to see the manipulation both sides because of the lower liquidity, higher volatility. Is possible, right? So I would be very careful trying to trade the moves right after FOMC or during the Powell press conference. All right. Again, for now, I'm dollar positive, looking to fade euro dollar on the move above 1365. Trying to fade the rally on the pound dollar towards 33.05, trying to buy the dip on dollar yen, and my dip, I do expect the dip around 40, watching Aussie dollar around the current level, right? And so that's how I see the things. Then ahead of the FOMC, I'm going to watch the price action on the gold, and I'm waiting for the official EEA data. If we are talking about the crude, and I'm looking, I've got two levels or zones where I'm going to try to sell. We are talking about the 59.25.45, and if I'm gonna to be stopped out, if market decides to go higher above yesterday high, I'm going to look to sell closer to 60. So that's how I see the things today. That's it from me. Don't be trapped. We do have a morning meeting London pre-open tomorrow at 8 a.m. CET. You are more than welcome to join. We are going to discuss the price action after FOMC. Have a great day. Take care. See you again tomorrow.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, light Forex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.